a bird in flight, waiting for the rising sun to tell us winter time is done. Take us through the endless cold and light this river gray and bring new life from old.
It's a cold, bright January day here at Twyford Lock on the River Stort. Some patches of ice have formed on the water overnight, but the canal is mostly ice-free, and there are still some boats moving along. I'll begin my record of this valley's changing seasons in midwinter. At this time of year, the sun is low in the south, and it lights up these canal boats in a way the high summer sun can't. And as a photographer, I'm enjoying the long winter shadows and the softer light. I head to the southern end of the valley where the Stort joins the River Lee. There's more ice on the canal here, and if the cold weather continues, these boats could get frozen in. There's a covering of hoarfrost now, and the temperature stays below zero all day, so it doesn't melt. I love the look of these frosty reed beds in the soft, watery sunlight, with their pastel brown and blue colours. Some animals are easier to find in the winter months, and they are keener to make human contact if we leave some food for them. A few peanuts left on this canal bridge soon draws out a squirrel. The ducks must be finding this frozen world less enjoyable, but mallards typically live for 10 years, so they must find ways to survive a cold spell. This pair should find some ice-free water nearby, on the river, or in the smaller channels that run between the lakes, where the water will keep flowing. This year's cold spell doesn't last long. With some winter sun, the canal here at Harlow warms up, and I soon find some more wildlife to film. I often hear robins in the quieter winter months. They sing all year round. This one is perched on a tree by the river, and I can just hear another one answering in the distance. Today I get a clear blue sky and strong sunlight to photograph the river and its residents. Like this heron looking out for fish in the shallows. The sun is reflecting off ripples in the water. It covers this quiet stretch of the valley in a warm, shimmering light. You don't expect to see many flowers in winter, but these catkins on a hazel tree are a sort of flower. They release pollen at this time of year. The pollen is received by tiny red flowers that appear just above the catkins. Snowdrops are early flowering and start to appear by the river now. They are popular here in Britain, but are not natives. arriving here from the continent in medieval times. This is Hunsdon Mead, the wildflower meadow by the River Stort, managed as a nature reserve. I'll be visiting this location regularly as the flowers appear. For now, I get some shots of these Canada geese. They were introduced to Britain from North America in the 17th century and released initially into St James's Park in London. They've done well, and they're a noisy and conspicuous presence in the valley. These dwarf daffodils have appeared by the canal towpath. They're barely higher than blades of grass. Pussy willow is coming out now, named for its furry catkins. It's attracting honeybees, the first I've seen this year. The reeds and bulrushes are releasing their seeds now, carried on a fine down. These bulrush heads seem to have completely exploded. Their down blows across these vast reed beds on a stiff spring breeze. The weeping willows are coming into leaf here by the River Lee. They are native to China and were transported here along the Silk Road, arriving in the UK in the 18th century. They spread along our quiet lowland rivers. Under their branches, writer Kenneth Grahame imagined a hidden world of characters like Mole and Mr. Toad in his much-loved novel, The Wind in the Willows. These small green catkins appear at the same time as the leaves and open out to release this yellow pollen. Spring seems to be fully underway now, and I'm finding lots to photograph. Spring seems to be accelerating in the warm and sunny weather, so I'm busy following the plants as they emerge along the river here near Roydon Lock, like the cow parsley by the towpath. These dandelions have bred quickly, and the first of this year's seeds are ready to go. The silver birch has its young, bright green leaves, and I hear this year's first cuckoo, although I can't see him. I find some wild garlic, and at nearby Hunsdon Mead there are cowslips. These are cuckoo flowers growing by the river, a British native plant that gets its name from the bird, which also arrives in April. There is apple blossom in a few places, and also drifts of tiny blue speedwell flowers. They reward a closer look with a macro lens. It's hard to see the exquisite detail of the 4 petals with the naked eye, and the 2 white stamens which pop out like antennae. I find a bluebellwood on the slopes above the river near Twyford Lock. Bluebells are more abundant in the British Isles than anywhere else, so we should not take this amazing display for granted. Canada geese are well adapted to human environments. They are wary of us, but they will stand their ground, even when they have goslings to worry about. I notice the geese bring their offspring onto the riverbank regularly for a rest and some quality time, and it gives me a better opportunity to film them. This gosling is relaxing in the sun, even though I'm nearby with the camera. So relaxed he seems to be drifting off to sleep. On the river, the geese are drawn to this water crowfoot. The current is fast here, and it's clearly a challenge for these small birds to avoid being swept away. It's no wonder they need a regular break. A bit further upstream, this family has found some calmer water. Once the River Stort joins the Lee, there is an impressive volume of water from their catchment, and it flows over this weir at Holyfield Lake. I found some birds down here in the Lee Valley that I don't see breeding on the Stort, like these grey-lag geese. The adults are easy to identify with their orange bills. Unlike the imported Canada geese, greylags are native to the UK. They have a short, stocky build, and if they resemble domestic geese, it's because our farmyard geese were originally bred from greylags. The goslings look similar to Canada's, but their legs are brown, not black. I would say their down is a bit darker in colour. The 5 goslings have found a good spot to warm up in the early morning sun, here by the river. Nearby I find some rarer birds. These are Egyptian geese, which are an introduced species native to the River Nile. This pair have a single signet. These birds were considered sacred in ancient Egypt, and on close inspection you can see why. Their feather detail is superb. The first ducklings I find this season are by the River Stort, near Latten Lock. This hen is gathering her brood to safety on the riverbank after a storm. She seems happy to let me film here. I'm using a long lens and I keep my distance. There are some more ducklings coming in from the river, but I'm a bit worried about their location. Although this path by the river is quiet, I've seen a few walkers with dogs, and those ducklings are so vulnerable. The next mallard family I find are down in the Lee Valley. They're on a small island, which is a good, safe location, and they seem contented in this warm April sunshine. Two of the brood have found an even smaller island of their own. But they rejoin the others eventually. I'm back on the River Stort, near Roydon Lock, where I spot these black-headed gulls trying to catch insects. On the canal I find another mallard family. As a photographer, I love a low sun, and this early morning light is magical. It's been a very dry spring, so the water levels are low here, and it's exposed some dry ground on this side of the canal. The towpath is busy, and the hen gets the ducklings into the water quickly when someone passes. But then they have the canal traffic to watch out for. Today is May Day, and it's feeling warm here by the River Stort near Harlow Marina. These two hawthorns, also known as May trees for the month they flower, are already in full bloom. May Day is the pagan festival marking the beginning of summer. So when does spring really end and summer begin? Meteorological spring covers the months March, April and May, and another definition from astronomy marks the solstice, the longest day, as the change of season. This year that falls on the 21st of June. I will be filming right up to the solstice, and by then I should get a sample of all the season has to offer, including the weather.
Monday the rain comes soon on a westerly. Tuesday the threatening thunder tonight, and Wednesday an April shower blows for and crazy hour. Thursday o'er the hills lightning strikes, then Friday it's brightening now from the west, and promise of evening sun for the rest. Oh, Saturday, what a day, crowds by the river. But Sunday it rains, and the streams and the meadows are blessed.
I found this family of mute swans on some quiet water in the Lee Valley. The male swan, nearest the camera, can be identified by a larger bulge at the top of the beak. I watched them feeding for about an hour before they took a break here at the lake edge. There are 8 cygnets, which is quite a large brood. These are the largest water birds in the valley. They are typically double the weight of Canada geese, and are among the heaviest flying birds in the world. The cygnets, though, seem quite small. These are just a week or so old. They're covered in light grey down with a black beak, and no sign of the adult's orange yet. The size comparison to the adult is striking, as the adult bird dives down for some food. They seemed quite content here by the lake shore, but things took a darker turn for this family. When I return a few days later, I find only the male is present now. I fear the worst for the female. She might have fallen prey to a fox. This will be tough now for these cygnets. But the male is doing his best, raising this family on his own. Coots build these large floating nests from twigs and leaves. This one is anchored to an overhanging tree on the edge of Holyfield Lake. I can see 6 chicks in the nest, and there are 2 more following the adults in the water. They look a bit bigger out of the water standing on those strong legs. The chick is mostly covered with black down, but he has a distinctive red bill with a white tip. For the first month, the chicks rely on the parents for food. I can see the adults breaking off pieces of vegetation for them. Coots have a reputation for abandoning some of their chicks, but from my observations, the coots are hard workers. I think they're just overwhelmed by constant demand. There is a lot of white down floating in the air at the moment. It's coming from 2 types of tree that are common in the valley: white willow and pussy willow. With no rain to wash it away, the down forms mats on the ground. I think this level of seed distribution might be a bit excessive for the plant's needs. I'm back at Hunsdon Mead Nature Reserve. The meadow will be cut for hay only once a year, in late summer when the plants have set seed. This traditional method of working allows a greater range of plants to grow here than in a cultivated field or a mowed lawn. These meadows are a rare sight in the English countryside now. Most of them have been lost to modern agriculture. The plant family known as umbellifers produces these umbrella-shaped flowers. Hogweed is usually white, but sometimes pink-tinged like this one. The season is progressing fast now, and I'm having to work my macro lens and my camera movements to do justice to these flowers. Although they are all common plants, in the right setting and photographed in the right way, I think they can look superb. Yellow irises have 6 petals, arranged in 2 sets of 3. 3 of the petals are upright and called standards, while the other 3 hang downward and are called falls. They grow in or near water, and they can form thick clumps, like here by the River Lee. In this quiet pond I find the white water lily. It is Britain's largest flower. It might look like an escape from Kew Gardens, but it is a British native. The plant roots into the mud at the bottom, and the lily pads and flowers float at the surface. These plants create a richer habitat in the pond, providing shelter and food for other species. These coots can eat almost anything, and there's plenty on the menu for them here on the lily pond. looks like spring is giving way to summer, the season of holidays and heat waves. We've already had a record-breaking spell of warm and dry weather, but there's still plenty of water flowing here at King's Weir in the Lee Valley. This is the water that keeps the ecosystem going and allows the many plants and animals I've been filming to bring on the next generation. The valley has been remarkable to watch these past months. So close to London and pressured by development, but still so varied and full of life.